So in this video, we're going to solve equations using nth roots. So to solve an equation of the form u to the n equals d, what we're going to do is take the nth root of each side. So what we want to do is what we're going to focus on is isolating the power, the u to the n. Okay, similar to u to the n. So what we want to isolate in letter A, for example, is the x to the fifth power. So we want to isolate it first. So to do that, let's divide by 4. So now we have x to the fifth, and we divide. 4 goes into 12 3 times, 4 goes in 8 2 times, so it's 32. Now, in order to get rid of that fifth power, we're going to take the nth root. So it's the fifth root, right? That is what is going to get rid of that exponent, the fifth root. So we used to take the square root, but now we're taking different roots, nth roots. So if it's the fifth power, then it's going to be the fifth root of both sides. So that cancels it out, right? So it has to be the same number there. And so we have x, and then fifth root of 32. So remember, that is just 2. Let's take a look at number 15, just because that's a fourth root. So when it's odd, there's only one solution. Remember, when it's an even number, we're going to have plus or minus here. So we'll see that in just a minute. So we have x plus 5 to the fourth power equals 16. Now, the x plus 5 is already isolated. Okay, so it's just like our u to the n here. So there's no number multiplied to the front. You definitely do not want to expand this out, because if you do that, you're going to take a look at Pascal's triangle or the binomial theorem binomial expansion, and that's a lot of work. So you definitely don't want to do that. So the fastest way, most efficient way, is to solve using nth roots. So notice that the exponent is 4. So what we're going to do is take the fourth root of both sides. Fourth root. So now that cancels it out. So again, it has to match that exponent there. So if it's a fourth power, then we're going to take the fourth root. So now it cancels, and we're left with x plus 5 on the left side. Now we have fourth root of 16. So it's even, so remember that it's going to be plus or minus. So let me do a little bit of work here. Fourth root is going to be plus or minus of 16. That's really 4 times 4. Again, that 4 tells us we need 4 values, 4 numbers of the same. So we can change it to 2 times 2 for the 4, and then another 2 times 2. So fourth root of 16 is going to be plus or minus 2. Okay, so fourth root of 16 is 2. Then, to finish solving, we're going to subtract 5 from both sides. And so remember this from earlier in the year. What this means is plus or minus means is we have 2 equations. We have negative 5 plus 2 and negative 5 minus 2. So negative 5 plus 2, x equals negative 5 minus 2. So negative 5 plus 2 is a negative 3, and negative 5 minus 2 is a negative 7. So x equals negative 3 and negative 7. Then you can always check it to see if it's true. So we could plug it in. So we have x plus 5 to the fourth power equals 16. And we could plug these in to check to see if it's true. So we have negative 3 plus 5 is 2 to the fourth power. And 2 to the fourth power is definitely 16. We plugged in negative 7 plus 5 to the fourth power. So negative 5 plus 5 is negative 2 to the fourth power. So negative 2 to the fourth power is still a positive 16, which is true. So you can always check by substituting back in. So please try out number 13 here and 14 here. Now you're going to want to isolate. So at the top, you'll isolate the x to the fifth, and isolate the x to the third power. And so try this out. All right, so if you tried it out, let's do number 13 first. So you divide by 8 from both sides. So isolate the x cubed, and we get x cubed equals 8. 64 divided by 8 is 8. Then you take the cubed root of both sides, so that cancels out the cube here. And we're left with x equals cubed root of 8 is a positive 2. 14, in order to get rid of the fraction, you multiply by 2 to both sides. And so that gets rid of the fraction. So we have x to the fifth equals 1,024. Now to get rid of that fifth power, we take the fifth root of both sides. So again, it has to match that exponent. Then, so I started to break it down here. So that's where all my work is. So I know 4 goes into 1,024. So I divided. And that ends up being 4 times 256 gives me 1,024. So 4 times 256. Then I divided by 4 again. 4 goes into 256 64 times. So notice it's 4 times 4 times 64. And 64, I remember that is really 4 times 4 times 4. So all of that to say that 4 to the fifth power is really 1,024. Okay, so that's kind of one way that you can kind of figure out what the answer is going to be. And these ones are nice. They're perfect values. So those are the problems, and I hope this helps you out.